Hello baseball fans and welcome to BBSN, and today on a lovely wet morning in Phoenix, which we do enjoy here because it happens like 6 times a year, we are set for another game in the Strat Time Machine project featuring the 1922 St. Louis Browns traveling to 1977 where they replaced the Toronto Blue Jays in the AL East. And today in the Brownies' second series of the year, they come in with a record of 2-1, having taken 2 of 3 in the opening series from the White Sox. And in this game, the Tigers come into town. And without further ado, our lineups for the Tigers. Batting leadoff in center field, Ron LaFleur. Tito Fuentes will play second and bat second. Ben Ogilvy batting third and right field. The ancient one, Rusty Staub, will be the designated hitter. Jason Thompson bats fifth and plays first base. Steve Kemp in the sixth slot will be in left field. Milt May catching, batting seventh. Another veteran, Aurelio Rodriguez, will be at the hot corner and hitting eighth. And Tom Verizor will be in at shortstop for this game. In the actual as-played lineup for the Tigers versus the Blue Jays on this date, Mark Wagner was actually the shortstop, but he is not carded in Strat, so Verizor will take his spot. For the Brownies, the usual lineup we've used through the first 3 games. We will be making some changes coming up, but most of their team played in nearly every game in 1922, so you will see very little changes. But Tobin, Ellerby, Sisler, Williams, Babydoll, McManus, Severide, Chick Shorten manning the DH spot, and Wally Gerber bringing up the rear at shortstop. And on the mound today for the hometown Browns will be Dixie Davis. In 1922, he had a record of 11-6, a 4.08 ERA. So he's a back-end rotation guy, not a stellar pitcher, so we could see some fireworks today, which we know the Browns will always provide. The Tigers will be sending Dave Rozema to the hill. He was 15-7 with a 3.09 ERA in 1977. So we are hoping for another good game in the series. And LaFleur is ready to start it off. And right away I'm wild. 2-6. That'll be a ground ball to shortstop. 1 down. Tito Fuentes. 5-7, and ground ball shortstop X, and that is a 2, and the McManus is a 1, and that will be a single. So outside of Marty's range, and Fuentes is on. And again, using the auto steal system here that I kind of adapted from payoff pitch. Fuentes will not go. Up third, Ben Ogilvy in the right field today, and that's a 5-4. And that's going to be a walk. So right off the bat, Dixie in a little bit of trouble here. 1 down, 2 on. The cleanup man, Rusty Staub, 4-4. And that's a split chance, and that'll be a double advance 2. So Fuentes chugs around third, and he'll score the game's first run. Ogilvy stopping at third base, and Staub saunters into second with the RBI double. And the Tigers jump off to a quick 1-0 lead. And Jason Thompson, the young first baseman, the batter. 1-9. And another split chance double. This will be a single instead, and runners will advance 2. Ogilvy trots home. Staub chugs around third, and he scores. And the Tigers have now strung 4 hits together and take a 3-0 lead. Thompson at first. And this was the one weakness in this Browns team. They were not very deep. Once you got past Shocker and Van Gilder, they were not very deep in terms of arms. 6-6, and that's going to be a walk. So Davis in big trouble here to start the game. And Milt May, the 7th batter of the inning, up. 5-3. And that'll be a ground ball to pitcher X. And Dixie is a 1. 18. And that is going to be a roll 20-sided die again. And 6. And that's going to be a double play. So Davis flips it over to second base where Gerber gets it, back to first. And that will end the inning with the 1-6-3 double play. But the Tigers rattle his cage and score 3 runs here in the top of the first. And the Brownies will be coming to the plate. All right, the Brownies will lead it off with Jack Tobin, who is off to a great start so far in this campaign. Dave Roseman on the hill. 4-5, and that'll be a fly ball to left field, 1 down. Next up is Frank Ellerby, and Ellerby, the weakest bat in this lineup. And 4-8, and that's going to be a pop out to first, so Jason Thompson will put that one away. And 2 quick outs for Rosema. And that will bring up George Sisler. Sisler hitting just 273 through 3 games thus far, looking to get untracked. Not bad for most people, but not him. And that'll be a ground ball to shortstop. So Verizon takes care of that. And the Brownies go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. We head to the second, and our score is still Tigers 3, Brownies 0. So Aurelio Rodriguez will start things off for the Tigers after their big first inning. Davis looking to get things back under control. And 6-3. And that'll be a ground ball to first base that Sisler takes himself unassisted. 1 down. Tom Verizon, the shortstop, up. And 6-7. And that will be a ground ball to shortstop X. And Gerber is at 2. And that will be ground out. So Davis has settled down a bit here in the top of the second inning as we're back to the top of the order with Ron LaFleur up. LaFleur started the game grounding out to Gerber. And 6-9. And that'll be a fly ball to left field. So Williams squeezes that. And Davis bounces back to put the Tigers down 1-2-3 in the top of the second. And the Browns now will try and chip away at that lead. As Ken Williams will start things off. And Williams absolutely on fire out of the gate here. He's hitting 700 through 3 games. And that'll be a 6-10. And fly ball to center field, so LaFleur is going to put that away. And Rosema pitching very, very well to start this game off. Baby Doll Jacobson. 3-2, and that's going to be a line out into as many outs as possible, which luckily will be only 1. And 2 quick outs again in the Browns. Marty McManus trying to get it started for him. 1 and an 8. And ground ball down to third base, and Rodriguez will take care of that. And another quick 3-up, 3-down inning for Rosema. We played 2, and it's Tigers 3, Brownies 0. So Tito Fuentes, he started the onslaught back in the first with a single. And Davis was just never able to recover after that. The pitch. 2 and a 5, and that's going to be a split chance double, single for Fuentes on the roll of 11. So Tito on for the second time today. And let's see if the Tigers can generate some more offense as Ben Ogilvy steps up. Fuentes is a 2 on the auto steal. He'll stay put. Ogilvy, 4-7. And struck him out. Davis with the whiff. And you, sir, your seat is right over here. 1 down, runner on first for Rusty Staub. And Rusty hit an RBI double back in the first inning. 2 and a 9, and that is going to be a fly ball to right field. Runners hold. So Davis says not this inning, and Jason Thompson, he singled in 2 runs back in the first. And that white one is getting away from me. 5 and a 4, and that's going to be a walk. So Davis flirting with a little bit of trouble again. As Steve Kemp steps up. 1-7, and yet another walk. The bases are now juiced. So Davis looked like he might have had things back in hand here, but they are on the verge of getting out of hand again quickly. Milt May, who grounded into a double play in the first inning. 6-7. And that'll be a ground ball shortstop X. And Gerber is a 2, so a 2 and a 2. And that's going to be a single advance 1. So Fuentes trots home, and the bases are still loaded as Milt May comes up with the RBI single this time. And Aurelio Rodriguez will be the batter. And Davis cannot stay out of trouble, and that'll be a ground ball to third. Ellerby puts that away, and the inning is over. Could have been worse, but the Tigers still add another. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Detroit 4 and St. Louis 0. All right, and in the bottom of the third inning here, Hank Severide will lead it off as the Browns looking for the first hit off of Rozema. 5-11, and that'll be a ground ball to first base X. And Thompson is a 4, and that'll be a 1. And that will be a single. So Thompson does not have the range, and Hank Severide gets the Brownies into the hit column with a single down the right field line. Chick Short and the DH up. 3-7. And that's going to be a ground ball to first base. Thompson has this one, flips it over to Verizor, back to Thompson, and we have the 3-6-3 double play. So any potential rally there was short-lived as we have 2 down, bases empty for Wally Gerber. And Rozema back to minimum batters faced. A 6 and a 3, and that's going to be a ground ball to Rozema. 7, and he is a 2. And that's going to be a ground ball out. So the Browns get a hit but cannot do anything with it, and Rozema through 3 has faced the minimum. And we will head to the top of the 4th. Our score 4-0 Detroit. And Tommy Verizor, the shortstop, will lead things off for the Tigers here. Davis back on the hill. He's going to be asked to go a few more innings due to pitching depth. 6 and a 7, and that's a ground ball to shortstop. And a 15, and again Gerber is a 2. And that one is going to be a ground out. So Gerber able to make the play on that, and we have 1 down, back to the top of the order. And Ron LaFleur up. And LaFleur looking to get into the hit column for the Tigers. A 4 and an 8. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And Tobin will put that one away, 2 down. Tito Fuentes, the batter. Tito has been a thorn, singled twice, scored twice. And 2 and a 5. And again, split chance, and that's going to be another single for Fuentes. So Tito, who did hit 309 in 1977, and he will not steal, is proven to be the rally starter thus far for the Tigers. Both innings they've scored. He has been the first one to get on base. So Ben Ogilvy, 2 down, the pitch, 4-6. And it's going to be a line out to third that Ellerby snags, and Davis gets out of this. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Score is still Detroit 4, St. Louis 0. And top of the order for the Brownies, Mr. Jack Tobin steps up. And we will get some fun facts about Tobin in our next game, as I try and give you a little bit of background of some of the players here on this Brown squad. 6 and 11. It's going to be a ground ball back to pitcher. But at this point, Rosma is cruising through this Browns order, and a very potent one at that, with a total of 6 300 hitters in the starting lineup, and 9 and 8, or 2 and a 9, sorry. That'll be a fly ball to center field. LaFleur runs that down easily. And George Sisler will be up. Sisler grounded out to shortstop. He's now hitting under 270 thus far in this young season. A 1 and a 2 will be a ground ball to third. And Rodriguez up with that. Over to Thompson, and another 3 up, 3 down inning. So Rosma, he has the lineup figured out thus far. And Detroit will come up in the top of the 5th with a 4-0 lead. Rusty Staub leading it off. The trusty one stops in New York and Montreal on his way to Detroit. And it'll be a 6 and a 5. And it's not a good column for Dixie, and he walks Staub to lead off the inning. Safe to say Staub at his advanced age, or should I say seasoned age, will not be stealing. He is not. And that will bring up Jason Thompson. 6 and a 9, and that'll be a fly ball to left field, so Williams will put that away. 1 down for Steve Kemp. And Kemp, he's drawn 2 walks thus far, so he's a very patient hitter today. 5 and an 8. And that is going to be a split chance, and that ball is deep and gone. 3 rows deep into left field bleachers, and Steve Kemp waits for his pitch, and he knows what to do with it. And the Tigers now take a 6-0 lead, and that's going to get some stirring going in the Browns bullpen. As limited as the bullpen is. And it looks like Rasty Wright is going to get up and start throwing down there. And kind of a house rule I use too, little warm-up rule. If, no, May should be hitting. If I decide to make a pitching change, I just won't make it immediately. I have a 2-batter warm-up rule. And again, just a little house rule I use to kind of be realistic. So 6-0 now for Milton May. And the pitch, 4-4, or 4-6. And that's going to be a line out to third. Glad I caught that, as that does make a difference. Sometimes these early morning games are tough on an old guy. Especially after a late Valentine's Day evening with Mrs. BBG. And 4 and a 5. That's going to be another walk. So Davis having some trouble harnessing the control in this one. And when he does come over the plate, the Tigers usually have a very bad answer for his pitches. Verizer Verizon, can you hear me now? 4 and a 3, and that's going to be a fly ball X to left. And Williams is a 2, 2 and a 9, and that's going to be a double. And base runners will advance 2 on that, so Davis cannot buy a break here, and that is going to be it for him. So we're going to close the book on Dixie. And he was not whistling Dixie today. He will end up going 4 2/3. And at this point, he is charged for 6 big runs. All of them earned. And the runners on base will still be his responsibility. So coming in for the pen for the Brownies will be Rasty Wright. One of the cooler names ever in baseball. I know people didn't have dreads back in 1922, but I could picture him strolling to the mound in dreads. And Wright in 1922 was 9 and 7, had a fairly good 2.92 ERA, and he will be facing the top of the order in Ron LaFleur, trying to put out the fire. And that'll be 1-8, and that's going to be a single. And with 2 down, and Verizon at a 12, he's going to try and score. Needs 1 to 14, and another 2 runs come across the plate. Those will both be charged to Dixie, as LaFleur with the 2-run single. And the Tigers now are just blowing this one open, 8-0, and LaFleur, you know what, he's going to try and rub it in a little bit. Let's see if he's going to steal, and that is a 5. He will indeed steal. So his steal rating, a 1 to 17. He would be held, and Severide is a -3 to 1, so 1 to 14, and LaFleur swipes the base. So runner in scoring position, and still 2 down for Tito Fuentes. 3 and a 7, and Tito will not keep his hit string going. He grounds out to Ellerby, and the inning is over, but the Tigers explode. Another 4 spot on the board, and we go to the bottom of the 5th inning in Detroit, up 8-0, and the natives here at Sportsman's Park are restless. And you cannot blame them. This is a vaunted Browns lineup that has absolutely been stifled today by Rosema, giving up only 1 hit through 4 innings and faced the minimum number of batters. So Ken Williams will be asked to try and get something going for the Brownies. Just for pride at this point, 6 and 11. That's going to be a ground ball to pitcher, 1 down. And Baby Doll Jacobson, the batter. Rosema the pitch, 6-4, and pops him up. Thompson takes care of that. So 2 quick outs again, and Rosema continues to cut through this lineup like a hot knife through butter. 2-8, and there's a split chance for a home run for McManus, and he rattles out one down into the gap and ends up at second with a double. So there's a little what for Rosema. Let's see if the Brownies can take advantage as Hank Severide up. He had the only hit prior to that for the Browns today. 1-8, and that's another split chance, and that will be a single. Runners advance 2, so the Brownies are on the board. And we hear some polite, if not mocking applause from the stands. It is now 8-1. Chick short, and the DH comes up. Rosema the pitch, 6-12, pops him up to shortstop. So the Browns do get on the board though, and we are through 5. It is Detroit 8 and St. Louis 1. Rasty Wright back on the mound. And the Tigers I'd like to keep this batting practice session going here as Ben Ogilvy will lead it off in the 6th inning. Ogilvy today is 1 for 3, singled, scored. He's also struck out, the only strikeout that the Tigers have suffered thus far. 6-5, and that's going to be a single. So it just does not get any better here with the pitching change as Ogilvy is on. He'll try and steal on a 4, and he's going to go. So Ogilvy, and his steal rating is 1 to 11 minus 2, and he gets in there under the tag. So Severide with a good throw, but cannot get the job done, and I think from this point on we'll call off the dogs in terms of stealing for the Tigers. And the pitch is a 3 and a 7 to stop, and it'll be a ground ball to first base. And Ogilvy will go to third, so that stolen base kept them out of the double play. 3 unassisted for Staub, 1 down, runner on third. And Jason Thompson, the batter. And 4 and a 5. And that'll be a ground ball to second base. And it's going to bring home Ogilvy with the 9th run for the Tigers. Thompson with the RBI on the ground out. And it's now 9-1. But at least the bases are empty. I've been able to say that much today if you're a Browns fan. Kemp up, 1-7, and draws another walk. That is his 3rd walk of the day. He also has a homer, a 2-run shot mixed in there. And Milt May will be the batter. And there's no way to put lipstick on this. This is just an ugly game for the Brownies. That's a fly ball. Our 6-4 fly ball to center field, and Jacobson will put that one away. And that will end it here in the top of the 6th, but Detroit puts across another run going to the bottom of the inning. It's 9-1. And Rosema, 2-hitter going, 1 run is all he has given up today. He has pitched splendidly, and Wally Gerber will lead it off. 5 and a 10, and that's going to be on the catcher's card, a 1, and Milt May is a 3. And it's going to be a strikeout. So May calling for the bender there, and Gerber goes down whiffing aimlessly at that pitch. And back to the top of the order, Ron LaFleur, the batter. Roseman gets his sign, delivers. 3-7, and ground ball down to first. Thompson takes that himself. So Jason having a fairly busy day down at first base. I believe that's 3 putouts he has now. 6 and a 4. And pops him up, and another one for Thompson. So once again, Rosema 3 up, 3 down. We're through 6, and this one is a rout, folks. Detroit up 9-1 as we head to the 7th inning. And the stands are already beginning to empty. Many people throwing out some not so favorable comments as they exit the park. Julio Rodriguez leads off against Wright, and 4 and a 7, struck him out. So Wright comes out firing, 1 down, and Verizon, who hit a double and scored in the 5th, his only hit of the day, 4-5, and it's going to be a ground ball to second base. So 2 down, and we're back to the top of the order. And the speedy Ron LaFleur comes to the plate. It's going to be a 2 and a 6. And it'll be a ground ball to shortstop. So Gerber takes care of that. And Wright with the extremely rare 1, 2, 3 inning as we head to the 7th inning stretch. And nobody's up and singing. Can you blame them? It's 9-1 Detroit as we head to the bottom of the 7th, and George Sisler will start it off for the Brownies. And Sis continues his early season struggles. He's 0 for 2 today, 2 and a 6, and draws a walk this time. And with an 8-run deficit, we're not going to be having any steal attempts on either side from here on out. Ken Williams, the batter. 6-11. That's going to be a ground ball to pitcher, and that'll be a fielder's choice. So 1-4. Sis goes down, and Williams on at first base with fielder's choice. Bringing Baby Doll up to the plate. Baby Doll named such by a female admirer in a minor league game. If you were in one of our previous broadcasts, we talked about that. 5 and an 8. And it's going to be a fly ball to right field. So 2 down. And Marty McManus, the batter. Marty has doubled and scored the only run for the Browns today. 5-8 is going to be another fly ball to right. And again in short order, Rosema continues to cruise. We head to the 8th, still 9-1 Tigers. And Rasty Wright is going to be asked probably to finish this game for the Brownies, again due to pitching depth as Tito Fuentes steps up. Fuentes 6 and an 8, and it's going to be a walk. So Browns pitchers today have given up quite a few. That is 2, 3, 4, 6 walks given up today for the Browns, and you're not going to win many games pitching like that. And Ogilvy will be the batter. Ogilvy has a couple of hits, has scored a couple of runs, stolen a base, 2-10. And split chance, and he gives that a ride off the top of the wall, just missed a home run. And Fuentes, he's going to stop at third as he had to hold up to see if that was going to be caught. But once again, Detroit is in business. Runners on second and third, nobody out. Rusty Staub coming up. Staub today has doubled and walked. He's 1 for 3 overall, has an RBI, scored a couple of runs. 2 and an 8. And it's going to be a split chance. That'll be a line out to second base. So Rasty dodges a bullet there, 1 down, runners hold. Jason Thompson, the batter. And Thompson 4 and a 9. It'll be a fly ball to left field. And runners are going to hold. It's not deep enough to get a run in. So 2 down now, and Wright looks to pitch his way out of this without any further damage. An already deplorable line score. Kemp the batter. And 3 and 6. And that's a split chance, and Kemp goes deep again, and this one is 6 rows back this time, his second home run of the day. And that plate's 3, and this one has just turned into an official massacre. As Kemp, he got hold of every stitch on that baseball. A 3-run blast, and he's having a monster day. Fuentes and Ogilvy come in to score. And that is going to make it 12-1. And Wright, he's just going to have to stay out there and take his medicine. 2 down. 2-4. And pops him up. McManus puts that away. Came 1 batter too late. Yeah, Steve Kemp's second round tripper of the day, and he has 5 RBIs on the day, folks. And we head to the bottom of the 8th, and this one is 12-1. And if we had an alternate game going on, we would cut and take you to that. But guess what? We don't. So you're forced to suffer with the Browns, who sends Hank Severide to the plate here in the 8th inning. 3-3. And it's going to be a fly ball to left. So 1 down. And Chick Shorten, enjoying his role as DH. Gets to hit, doesn't have to field. As good as it gets. 3 and an 8. And Shorten split chance and just misses a home run off the top of the wall, but he's going to cruise into second with a double. And so the Browns show a little bit of fight still. They're not going to have enough to make a difference, but 3 and an 8. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Runner holds. Gerber out 6-3. Riser to Thompson. And we have 2 down. Runner in scoring position for Jack Tobin. And Tobin, who is off to a sizzling start here. He was hitting 500, I believe, coming in, but he's 0 for 3 tonight. 6 and a 5. And there's a split chance. And Tobin gets a hold of a Rozema pitch finally down the center of the plate and puts that into the bleachers. So a 2-run shot for Jack Tobin. And the Brownies, for those who have stayed, give the home fans a little bit to cheer about. As Frank Ellerby will come up, nobody on, 2 outs. Pitch from Rozema, 2-10, and pops him up to second base. And that ends the bottom of the 8th, but the Brownies, playing for pride, scratch out a couple more runs on the blast by Tobin. We head to the last inning. Our score, Detroit 12, St. Louis 3. And Wright will face Aurelio Rodriguez to start things off. And Aurelio, he is walked and struck out. Might be the only Tiger without a hit today. He did score when he walked, however. Nasty Wright the pitch. Going to close it out. 2 and 11. Be a ground ball to second base. So 1 down. And Tom Barizer, the batter. 4-4. It's going to be a ground ball X to third. And a roll of 20. Ellerby is a 3. And that's going to be a ground out. So Ellerby makes a fine play there to get Barizer. And back to the top of the order. And up for the 6th time today in this softball game for the Tigers is Ron LaFleur. And he only has 1 hit, believe it or not. 4 and 7. And struck him out. So Wright ends this dour outing in a little bit of style for the Brownies as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Tigers holding a very, very comfortable 12-3 advantage. And Rozema will face the meat of the St. Louis lineup here in the bottom of the 9th. And this would be a miracle of epic proportions if they can somehow come back and make this a game. And Sis will start it off. 3 and a 9. And that's going to be a single. So Sisler, his first hit of the day, 2nd time on base. He walked back in the 7th. And Ken Williams will be up. Nobody out. Sisler will not try and steal. 1 and a 5. And it's going to be a fly ball to right field. And Ogilvy is under that. Gets the ball back in. Sisler back to first. Baby Doll Jacobson up. And Baby Doll, 3-5. And that's going to be a line out to third. And Rozema kicks the dirt, toes the rubber, 2 down. McManus, 1 and a 9. And that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. And Barizer takes care of that. And the ball game is over. And the Brownies, in their 2nd series in this 1977 Time Machine replay, Did not get this one off to a very good start. Got ugly early and stayed ugly throughout. Final score today is the Detroit Tigers 12, St. Louis Browns 3. And we will be back for game 2 of this series. Until next time, roll on.